Good morning, YouTubes, and welcome to the next video on the R1100S Barn Find, Garage Find, what do you want to call it? Now, I am going to link very quickly to the video of it arriving, well, us leaving London and it arriving, because unfortunately I didn't do any footage of us extricating it from the car park because the security guards were just a bit funny. It was aggravation, shall we say. What could have been very simple turned into quite a long drawn out process. So there's no footage of that, but the next thing you will see is me out on the driveway giving this a clean, and then obviously we will see where we go from there. As you can see, it is going to take a little bit of work, shall we say. Yeah, right then, I'm going to crack on. Very first thing I'm going to do is shout out a big thanks to the R1100S technical help group on Facebook, who've been absolutely spot on. As soon as I posted this up on the page and asked for some advice on what it's going to need, I was inundated with stuff like clutch slave, which is buried in there somewhere, and apparently the rear subframe has to come off to get to it, and a few other things as well. So let's crack on and we'll see where we get. My cleaning process is going to be quite gentle. I was going to blow it off, but I don't know how toxic some of this stuff is on this bike. It is grim, so it is going to have a very gentle wash and a very gentle jet wash as well, obviously avoiding anything that shouldn't be jet washed. But at this point it's probably not going to do anything any harm. It's going to get plenty of time to dry out, and I'll go over anything that obviously shouldn't have water in that might have water in. So without further ado, the next thing you should see, well, the next thing you'll see is me in a van going over Tower Bridge, and then me and Big Tony, unloading it on the night. But after that, you know what I mean, it'll be on the driveway getting washed. So any comments, any suggestions, chuck them in below. They will be very gratefully received, because I know not a lot about these bikes. In fact, I know zero, but I'm learning. And as I say, the guys on the forums are being top lads. So let's get it washed and let's see what lies underneath. Back soon. Right, YouTubes, if you're going to pick up a motorcycle, don't do it in a horse box. This is my daughter's horse box, so obviously we've got the panniers, fuel can, because this thing's almost out of fuel. And then in there we have, I'm not going to go through the groom's door. Apparently that's a groom's door, yeah. In there we have the R1100. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. So, right, back to collect Tony. Get this thing unloaded at my place, which should be fun and games. See you in a bit. Obviously there's no unloading footage as you saw, but what I'm doing now is getting some WD-40 wash and giving it a quick once over and a bit of a scrub with the brush at all the bits that are hard to get, and then a gentle jet wash. The jet isn't set too fierce, it is quite a sort of a wide spray, and that's based just to blast the worst of the muck off of it. Try and get the bike as clean as I can whilst being as gentle as I can. But as you can imagine, there is quite a lot of muck on this bike. Now what I'm doing is getting some, I think it's Maguire's shampoo, and giving the bodywork a good mitt wash over the top, just to loosen off anything that the jet wash didn't blow away, and then obviously giving it another gentle jet wash afterwards. Trying to clean the seat, the wheels, getting in obviously, as you can see, underneath the seat, and basically giving it a good scrub, and then directing the jet wash anywhere that's difficult to get to, just so that all the muck from London and all the pollution and crap that I don't want to be breathing in or getting in my hands or getting over the workshop scrubs off the bike and obviously disappears down the drive. It was a pretty good process, actually. I enjoyed doing it because the bike came up really, really well, as I think you'll probably see in the next clip. And then after the jet wash, just basically getting a dry cloth and again going over the bike just to get the worst of the water off of it. It was a nice day today, so it did dry out fairly quickly, but as you'll see, it came out really well. We're back, and I am stunned about how well this has come up. You know, people always talk about BMW quality, and whether it's improved or not over recent years is debatable, but certainly from this era, yeah, I'm staggered. I mean, it has come up. Obviously these are going to need, this was the side that was opened more to the elements, so there's a little bit more corrosion, there's a little bit of rust coming through on the rear subframe, and obviously on these rocker covers. But it's got, apparently, did a bit of digging and chatting to a couple of people, it's got the chrome kit, which apparently that is, and it's also got carbon. Now I don't know if carbon is standard, but I couldn't see this when I bought the bike because it was so covered in dirt. But that is a carbon fibre mudguard. Well, front half, back half is black plastic, front half carbon fibre intakes there. Well, I say intakes, I think it is just for the oil cooler. There's an oil cooler behind there, so I think that's just oil cooler, but they're carbon. Couldn't see that because they were absolutely, well, it was just solid with dust. Going around the bike, top yoke, bit of corrosion on it, that might clean, it might not. 24,700 miles, but everything, I think these are an extra, the chrome. I know you guys on the technical help page are going to tell me all about this. Oh, is that a headlamp adjuster? Oh no, it's not. Oh, it's a, I think that's a little vent, little T-piece vent for the headlights, I'm guessing. Carbon tank protector, that is a zippy attachment which is going to be for a tank bag. Haven't got the tank bag, but I might have an old GS tank bag which also zips at the back, so I might look into that, see if the GS tank bag will go around the front there and sit on the top. Obviously this side was away from the elements a little bit more, so this is in sort of better condition, but obviously it's all looking good. Wheels are good. Everything is, I mean, it is clean. It is clean, it really is. It's taken some work. Corbin seat came up beautifully. It's still got the screws on it, obviously, to fit the seat hump, and I'm guessing that's what that's for. I'm guessing that something sits in there. I'm guessing that's the back of the seat cover. Needs a number plate, but yeah, oh, carbon rear hugger, couldn't see that either, had no idea that was on there. I don't know whether that's factory or not, but I'm really pleased with how it's come up. It was definitely worth saving, definitely worth taking a chance on. Well, I say that, I haven't got to the main part yet, have I, which is the motor. Next job is going to be pull the plugs out, put it in gear without using the clutch, because a lot of the guys on the help page have said don't pull the clutch in. I have pulled it in. When I went to view the bike, I gave it a couple of pulls and it operated, but I won't pull it in again because they say if the slave leaks, which is at the back of the motor by the clutch and the rear main seal, obviously it chucks fluid, which I think they said runs down the push rod from memory, and can contaminate not only the clutch plate but destroy the rear main seal, and that's quite a big job. You know, you've got to pull the motor out and probably the back end of the bike off or whatever. I'll get to that at some point if I ever need to, but that shouldn't be the case. So I have ordered a clutch slave, which is on its way, a new one, so that'll be going on, which is a subframe off job. What should we do now? What should we do now? Let's whip the plugs out, stick it in 6th gear. I've got a endoscope which I'll put down first of all, just to make sure the boards are good, and maybe put a little bit of oil down them before I try and roll it, and then stick it in 6th gear, and let's roll it forwards and, you know, see what happens, see if it turns over. If it doesn't turn over, where do we go from there? Where do we go? That's a motor strip, isn't it? Because that could be cylinders, could be crank. I mean, I've got no issues with everything that Josh has said. You know, completely trustworthy guy. He parked it and left it. But obviously, what has happened in those years since then is anyone's guess. So let's get it apart. And if I see any faults or issues with it along the way that are obvious, I mean, the only obvious things are, there's a few marks, little scuff marks. I don't know what that's from. I know someone on the RS page is going to say, that is from A, B and C, because it is the same on the other side. Is that from a tank bag? Is that where a tank bag goes? If it is, it's a bit poor. If it was a genuine bag, because this looks like a genuine adapter, whatever you want to call it. So I'll be surprised about that if it is, but you never know. DIN connector, but look how clean it is. Hopefully you can see in there. Obviously I can't focus this GoPro. Rear indicator has obviously been bumped against when it's in the car park. I might try and bond that on because it's mint, and I hate waste. I really do. It will need a number plate for the MOT, so that will be done. And the cover I've jet washed off because the cover's still usable. Again, I hate waste, so I've jet washed the cover off. I'll see if I can salvage that. I don't like just throwing stuff in the bin if I can't reuse it, within reason, obviously. So let's get these plugs out and let's see if this thing turns over. So a little bit of time lapse, as you can see, me putting the plugs out. I had to use a couple of levers, I think I'll say that in the next section, to get the HT cap off. It was a bit tight. So as you can see, it's repeated the same on the other side, and it all seemed to go fairly well. Right, plugs are out. I had to use some, you're all going to tell me that's quite normal, but I had to use some levers, some old trim levers to get the cap out. I'm sure that you're going to say, yeah, they always stick in there, but it's all new to me, isn't it? So can you see that screen? I'm going to guess you probably can't, but let's have a look what we got inside there. Get in there. Here we go. Oh, we have a piston. Let's have a look. Rotate that round a bit. That, can you see that? That is clean in there. Those boards look good. Right, I don't know if that's bottom dead centre. It's going to be close because that piston's a long way down. But obviously, let me just adjust the camera a little bit. I didn't want to rotate it, so it's just lucky, I guess, that is where it's ended up. Which way? It doesn't really matter which way round we are, does it? Let's get in there. So I'll put a little bit of bend on it. There we go. This endoscope's got quite a stiff cable, which is good, but can make it a little bit awkward to, if you want to rotate it. Here we go, we're in. I'm having to rotate the whole thing. because I do want to look all the way around the cylinder. Happy days. Yeah, that's looking good. That is looking absolutely mint. That's a result. That is a real relief. Let's stick it in 6th gear. I'm assuming this has got 6 gears. Let's stick it in 6th gear and let's roll it backwards and forwards. I'll tell you what I might do. I might pull the rocker covers off first, and I might have a quick look on YouTube and see if, because obviously you've got a cover under there which looks like that lines directly up with the crankshaft, and I know that there's an alternator in there because I've seen a belt for sale for them which I know fits in there. I wonder if I can get that off, and if there'll be a nut on the end of the crank that I can rotate instead of pushing it. You're all going, yes there is, or you're all going, no there isn't. I'll find out in a sec. Well, for time-lapse work, you just see me popping the cover off. And look at that. Clean as a whistle. Even the inside of the cover's nice. Even the oil doesn't actually look too bad. It's not filthy. Obviously it's going to need a change, and it will get changed, but it's not filthy. So let's get the other side off, and let's see if it turns over. I'll try time lapse on the other side as well. Why not, eh? Now this side did work, and obviously it's just a simple case of removing the bumper from the bottom of the cylinder, 4 bolts, and then crack the cover loose, and away it comes. Incredibly, this side looks as clean as the other side. I think we've got very lucky here. And obviously inside the rocker cover is lovely as well. No signs of any corrosion, no signs of any muck. It's looking very good. So let's see how, I'm gonna have to get onto YouTube, and pretty sure that cover comes off, and we'll see what's under there, but I'm pretty sure there is a nut or a bolt, because that is in line with the crankshaft, and we'll see if we can rotate that, get some movement in the cylinders, see what happens. I'm going to squirt a little bit of oil down the cylinders first of all, just to make their life a little bit easier, and then we'll turn it over. I might turn it over enough times just to see if it pumps oil out and we get some oil coming out those heads, because then I know that the pump's working and there is oil circulating. So let's get this cover off. I'm not going to video that, it's a bit dark in there, isn't it? And we'll find out where we go. And I know all of you are going, yes there's a cover, there's a hidden bolt or any of that sort of stuff, but I'll find out in a minute. Cover's off. I ended up using a couple of extensions to get into there, because it was quite well tucked in. So under here we have, if you can see that, you see that, we do have a nut which looks a bit into the crankshaft, and we have a alternator belt which, if I squeeze up there, if you can look in there, can you look in there? There's an alternator. It actually looks like a car alternator. And there's a slotted bracket on that side. I can't point because I've got 2 hands full. That looks like there might be some sort of adjuster or tensioner maybe for the belt. I'm making a guess there. But anyway, that definitely looks like, if I can get in there, that's the end of the crank. So I'm going to go online, see which way that rotates, and then we'll get something on there and we'll see if we can spin that, see if it turns. We're back with a 16mm socket. Had a quick look online. Some really good videos online for the he's called an oil head, I guess they are. I went straight to a valve adjustment video because that's the most obvious thing to go to. Valve adjustments seem very simple on this, so do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to adjust the valves while it's apart. I probably won't video that, because if you're watching this, you know how to adjust these valves. Screw and lock nut, very simple. So I'll get that done while it's apart, but big fingers crossed here. Let's see what we've got. Wish me luck. Oh, oh, smooth as anything. Beautiful. Now what I'm going to do, and I'm sure a lot of you are going to go, don't do that, is I've got my Milwaukee buzz gun. I'm going to see if I can rotate the motor over, see if we got enough oil pressure. I want to see some more coming out of these heads. So that is if I can get in there. I can get in there. Right then, let's see what we got. Haha, that don't work. Okay, doesn't turn it over. So in that case, I'm going to go back to rotating it the old-fashioned way. See if we can do enough to get some more pressure up, shall we? I might be here a while. I'll come back to you once I get some more out. Oh, you can't spin it enough. You just can't spin it enough to get the oil up in any quick amount of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get to the battery, which is under there. Connect up a jumper pack, and let's see if we've got any life in the bike. Obviously leave the covers off while I'm turning it over, because I want to see that we've got oil flow around the motor. Back in a bit. I keep saying back in a bit, but hey, it is back in a bit, isn't it? And I will have to use YouTube to find out how all this comes off, because I don't think it's going to be a 2-minute job. I've got to say, I could have probably put that on time lapse, but it might not have been quick enough, or short enough should I say, because that was an absolute piece of piss. I've got to say, BMW, now I've owned more Ducatis than anything, and there are certain Ducatis that removing the fairings from is bloody hard work, but that was a doddle. So the next thing to do is, I guess, get this centre section off, get the tank lifted. I need to get the battery out anyway because it needs a new battery. And let's see if we can get some power to it, see if it will spin over. But look at this lovely alley tank. Look at that. Now it says it's got a K&N filter, and there's a K&N stick at the other side, so I'm guessing, looking at that, the air filter is under there. I think it probably is. You're all shouting yes, it's under there. So let's get this centre tank cover off, get some power to the battery, and see if it turns over. Right, power pack, battery, obviously everything's off. Bit unhappy about that being open. Actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bung a rag in there quickly. Might as well make it a petrol bomb, eh? So yeah, power pack. I'm just going to connect the earth, hit the button. Where's the keys? There they are. Put the keys in and we'll see what we've got. This is genuine first start. I'm not into all this putting stuff together and faking it rubbish. Let's have an earth. That's a decent earth, isn't it? Right then. This is a bit tense. Okay, nothing. Is that on? I've got to press and hold that. maybe I'll see if I can go straight to the battery. Let's give that a go. I said I didn't fake stuff, didn't I? So let's get the air filter off. Let's go straight to the battery. We're back for attempt number 2 with it actually straight to the battery. Right, it's full charge. Oh, this one's already on. Right, let me just check quickly that we got 12 volts going to the battery. Let's just check we've got 12 volts coming out of this thing, shall we? Right, which we haven't. Might be the jump pack. Let's see how easy that battery is to get out. See if I can put another battery in off of one of the other bikes. Old battery is out. It's a beast of a thing, isn't it? Big old lump that. Obviously just have to slacken a couple of bolts off for the tank just to lift the tank slightly. Has got a K&N filter, which is nice, but look how clean it is all under there. It's lovely. However, with the jumper pack connected and powered up, we've still got nothing. I am quickly gonna pull a battery out of another bike and chuck it in there just to see what we've got. If that doesn't work, it's going to be, I'm going to guess, relays, which is going to be a search. Where are the relays? So I'll be back in a couple of seconds YouTube seconds anyway, with a fresh battery on. We'll see if that makes a difference. If I get nothing out of that, that'll be the end of this video, and I'll start hunting for the fix in the next one. So let's see how we get on. Battery pinched off the RS, the trusty rusty RS. Now I rode that up on, when was it? Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday? Oh, it was last week. It was a few days ago. So that's had a full charge. That's a good battery anyway. Connected with bolts. I've cleaned the terminals, screwed into place, positive and negative. Fingers crossed. Let's see what we get. Ooh, we got lights, we got power. So it definitely was an issue with the battery connections. Why isn't that showing us in neutral? Have we got a dicky neutral light switch? Ah, oh fucking hell. Right, okay. Neutral. We got a fuel pump. Now I'm not going to put the plugs back in just yet, but let's just see if this is going to turn over. Everything seems to be working. It's making all the right noises. What I'm going to do now, let's see if we've got some lights and horns and all that sort of stuff. We got a horn. Ah, we're not going to have indicators, are we? We got a rear one. We're not going to have front ones because they're over there, you bloody idiot. Let's try this one. So we've got a double flash. Okay, we've got an indicator there as well. Obviously hazards are, they're working. Okay, side lights. Side lights. Should we try brake lights? And the front one. Oh. Yep, I can see that. Headlights. Where are headlights? Over there. Oh, it was a fast idle. I didn't know that was there. Right. Glad I spotted that. Do you know what I'm going to do now? Let's turn this off. I'm going to pop a charger on that so that's pumped up. I'm going to set the valve clearances. I'm going to spin it over until I get oil. Oh, there is oil, look at that. Beautiful. So we've got a working pump because we've got oil coming out from the rocker shafts. Obviously these are your rockers, they're the shafts. There's going to be an oil feed in that to keep that shaft lubricated. We've got oil coming out. Let me just have a look at the other side. Yeah, we got oil out the other side as well. Ah, happy days. Right, let's get that little plug in there, that black plug in there. Let's spin it round to top dead. Let's get these valve clearances set, and I will be back to you probably in, I don't know, half hour or an hour, something like that. And then, do you know what, I might go for a start-up. Stranger things have happened. I mean, that fuel is donkey's years old. It doesn't smell great, but it does still smell a little bit like fuel. Let's get this battery off, get it on charge so it's fully pumped up. Get these valve clearances set because they won't take too long. Chuck it back together. And I'm going to give it a start. Or at least try and start it. I'm not going to go for easy start, none of that crap. If it doesn't start on the fuel that's in there, I'll drain the fuel down because it's got to come out anyway, because I want to have a look at those feed pipes in the tank. Everyone has said that the feed pipes are probably going to need changing. But old fuel was better than new fuel. If it starts up and runs on it, well, let's go from there, shall we? That could be something for the new owner. Because this is what I'm doing. I'm recommissioning this bike, I'm getting it going, and it's not going to be a huge amount of money for the next person to own it, so they've got some money in it to crack on, go all the way through it, get all the little bits done that they want to do. So I'll be back in a bit with everything done, most of it buttoned back together. I want to get that top cover back on, and we're going to go for a start. Catch you in a bit. Oh, fingers crossed, people, fingers crossed. Right then, it's a little while later. Valve clearances are set. The gaskets were a little bit hard, so I've chucked a bit of the old 3-bond on there. If they leak, then I'll buy new ones. If they don't leak, happy days. That can sit until the next valve service. Battery's had a bit of a charge. The only annoying thing is the plug for the timing indicator for top dead fell down somewhere, and I think it's in the belly pan. I'll have to have a look for that later. It's not anywhere that can do any harm, but I'll have to try and find it. Plugs are in, caps are on. I have spun it over some more just to get plenty of oil through. So how does that work? Fast idle, is that supposed to lock up? It's going to sit like that. It's not a cold day. I'm a bit nervous. Let's see what happens, shall we? I don't believe it. He's trying. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to chuck some fresh fuel in. That'll be the oil I put in the bores. Might have failed a plug because I did put quite a bit in. Let's chuck some fresh fuel in, see what happens. Right, I've gone back to the tripod because I need to hold the choke fast idle, whatever it is, down. 10 litres in the tank. There wasn't a lot in there, so it's still quite low. Let's see what happens. Well, everybody, sometimes you get lucky, and I think that is one of those times. That sounds sweet, sweet as a nut. That doesn't mean that the work stops here, but it does mean it runs, so it does mean I can start spending a few more quid on it. It was a risk spending 3 figures on the clutch slave, because obviously if the motor was toast, that was wasted money, but I'm sure I could have sent it back. But it's not toast, it runs, it's quiet, it's responsive, it's lovely, and it sounds nice with those pipes on. So I'm going to run it up now, get it nice and warm, and then dump the oil, and then see where we go. But today has been a good day. If you want to see the rest of this coming back to life, tyres, tank stuff, slave stuff, subframe off, all of that sort of thing, then chuck in a subscribe and a like and all that sort of Facebook nonsense, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Oh, relief. happy days.